I'm going to go through quickly how to put together one of these internet Blinky buttons that we've been building. So I've got one here that's mostly done, just got the hinge to do, and it is hooked up. When I click it, the other one lights up. It happens to be on the same network, but this would work anywhere on the that's got an internet connection. So inside, got this 3D printed enclosure. It's not so pretty, but it gets us where we need to be for the time being. And so we're going to need, let's see, one of these little photon boards from Particle. One of them. I'm using this LiPo charger module from Adafruit. So I've had this in the charger already, so it's got a full charge. So we're going to need one of them. We've got the actual button. That's going to get mounted on this little bit of strip board here. I'm going to use some of this ribbon cable here for most of our connections. It's quite flexible and it's fairly thin gauge, so we can fit quite a bit of it in there. Miscellaneous resistors, pull-up resistor, and we use a voltage divider to get the battery charge level. And I think that's about it. Tools wise, cutters, glue gun, soldering iron, the actual lights themselves, some of these NeoPixels. Alright, so I'm going to start by cutting up the wires that we need and putting these two boards here together. So I've got this, I'm using some foam tape, carpet tape. It's actually double-sided, I'm just not taking the backing off of it, don't really want it to stick. So that gives us a little cushion and it gives us some standoffs, some distance here, so we don't have anything poking through, because this is going to sit on top of the LiPo like this, so I don't want any sharp solder joints poking through this bag here. Right, and then I've cut out a couple of the pieces of the wire I'll need, so I'm going to strip those. So if you're careful, you can keep this together and it makes life easier when it comes to tinning and soldering these up. I've got a little guide here for the different wire lengths that I need. It's not comprehensive, but it gets most of them. Alright, I don't have the soldering iron under the camera here, so I'll go tin these. I find you do have to tin them all. That stops them, because this is flexible stranded wire. If you're not careful, you can get just a single strand is enough to break free and to bridge some of the connection and create a short. So I tin them and poke them in. I'll come back. Okay, so I've got these tinned. I'm just gonna rig this up. I'm using brown for ground, which I figure is close enough that my future self might remember that. And also it's right next to the red for the positive voltage source. So I'm just going to poke those into there. I'm also going into the back of the board rather than, I guess, more conventionally coming down from the top. Again, because I really don't want pokey bits poking through the into the battery here, and actually it ends up looking fine. So here's my handy dandy, I don't even know what they call that in this country. In the UK we call this blue tack, except this obviously isn't blue. But it's an excellent soldering aid. I'm not going to try and do too many at once here, but the yellow wire is the voltage sensor. It goes into the A5, one of the analog inputs. Alright, I'll solder that up and be right back. Okay, got those soldered. I think I'm just going to trim them off as I go. Blue is for the button, that goes into D4, so the green goes into D5. D5? Yes. Okay. Now which is which here? It'd be nice if they labelled them on both sides, seeing as they made the holes plated on both sides. That's D4, which is correct. Guess I'll do the orange as well, but I'll just get these jammed in here. So you notice that I wasn't quite clever enough to align the pins to the colours of the cable in this ribbon cable, so there are a couple crossovers here. It's alright, I'm not going to stress it. That should be coming through D3, which it is. Okay, jam that on there, solder that up, I'll be right back. Okay, that's those done. Looks alright. Next up, so all of this is going to end up coming around here, and then I'm making all my connections on this strip board here, so all the grounds and all the positive voltage connections are going in here, and then obviously all the lights and everything else that basically isn't this module, one of these modules. So next up I need, so we've got the source, or power source here, needs to go up to the board, because that's where the particle photon board is going to get its power. So that is these two load. Okay. So that's that.